Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. This guy, Ken Folman, one of our viewers, is very concerned. He thinks my desk is on fire. Can we call the fire department?
I laid each one of those bricks by hand last night. I assure you, they're up to code. The desk will not light on fire.
Okay. We really got him going today. We really got him going on the Me Too movement in hockey. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, will join us here right after this sports update. Russell Wilson hit David Moore for a 60-yard touchdown pass, and the Seattle Seahawks built a big second-half lead before holding off the Minnesota Vikings 37-30 on Monday Night Football. Seattle at 10-2 moved into a tie with San Francisco atop the NFC West, but holds the tiebreaker with the 49ers. Derek Grant scored 2 goals. Ryan Miller made 34 saves, and the Anaheim Ducks beat the LA Kings 4-2 in the first freeway face-off rivalry game of the year. The Kings are mired in last place in the Pacific for a second consecutive season. Jake Allen made 38 saves. Saskatoon's Braden Shen scored his team-leading 14th goal, and the St. Louis Blues beat the shorthanded Chicago Blackhawks 4-0 for their 4th straight win. The last-place Blackhawks played a man short because of injuries and the salary cap. How about that? So they really do need Kirby Dach up there. Washington Nationals first baseman Ryan Zimmerman figures he'll either find himself back with the World Series champions next year or out of baseball altogether. The club declined its $18 million U.S. option for next season on Zimmerman, who received a $2 million buyout and became a free agent. That's your Tuesday morning sports update for Ballers Rec Room, Regina's newest entertainment destination. Did you know on Thursdays for $10 you get a free play all day? For $10 on Thursdays.
Wow.
Yeah, we were there for lunch yesterday. So a lot of things to get to today. All kinds of comments coming in on the Facebook wall. We welcome our director of scouting, 2-time Grey Cup champion, Craig Smith. How you doing, Smitty?
Good.
You were at Wendell Clark's on the weekend, Rod Pedersen show sponsor.
Yeah.
How was it, my friend?
It was excellent. You know, what's funny, I had a burger. I'm a big burger guy, and it's probably going to put me in the grave early, but I had the burger, and it reminded me of when my mom used to take me back when I was a kid, like real young, this corner restaurant. His name was Johnny's, and it reminded me of that, and holy cow, that's pretty good.
Was it the Wendell burger?
No, it was just a regular burger, and I can't remember what they call it, but they toasted the bun, and it was just so good. And we had some cheesecake after that, and of course I had poutine. I had just an unbelievably healthy meal there. and
I can tell you look very healthy.
Oh, hey.
And you had good news with your results for your cancer scan.
It was it's what happens is you go there and you get the blood work, and they check the blood and everything. So it was good. So that was
awesome.
A great thing. Yeah, excellent.
Good to know. Well, they tell me that the Wendell burger and the fish and chips are the top 2 sellers at Wendell Clark's in Saskatoon. Just saying. I so can't wait. I can't wait for the home opener for the Rush, December 14th against the New England Black Wolves. I am officially, as of this morning, a Rush season ticket holder.
Nice.
Platinum seats. That's 2 jerseys that I get for being a season ticket holder. Can't wait.
Kathy had the tacos. And she
Fish
said,
tacos?
No.
Chicken tacos?
Chicken tacos.
Right.
She said they were excellent. So great place. And the other thing is go there on a Sunday and take a peek at all the TV screens, and they're all beautifully high definition. It's just fantastic. Your head be on a swivel. You'll be like a linebacker out there.
Well, Wendell's not going to put his name on any Rudy Poo joint.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fitting of his name.
What a wrist shot he had, hey? Wasn't it unreal?
Snapshot, yeah. Oh, my God. From the Prairie Mobile text line, you can write us every day at 306-840-8777. That's 840-8777. Families trust Prairie Mobile. That's where we get our phones from. Few messages here. One from Levi. He says, some number 28s for the show. Today is episode number 128. He says, Marshall Falk and Buster Posey. There's some good ones there.
Yeah.
I'll write those. There was only one number 28 that came to mind to me when I was getting my show ready, and that was one Kenton Keith.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. What? Am I Adrian Peterson?
AP?
Mm-hmm. He's 28,
okay,
right?
that's another one. Levi goes on to say, and he's texting from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. In your opinion, Rod, who should be the top 5 Rough Rider free agents that should be signed? I heard on your show yesterday that Hughes signed, but it's not announced on the Riders' website or on the CFL free agent list. Was he a free agent or still under contract and just extended? Go Riders, Levi Tate in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So there's a Rider fan in North Carolina writing in. And so I had received word late last week that Charleston had signed an extension with the club, went to the CFL free agent list that came out on Thursday. His name wasn't on it. Went back to the 3downnation.com list that was posted 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and Charleston's name was on it. So all I can guess is between that time and last week, Charleston signed his extension and the team hasn't announced it yet. Does that answer your question, Levi? Top 5. I guess I could get the list in front of me if I wanted to. Are we going to go down that road?
We could.
Let's do the top number 1 free agent for the Riders to sign. And I would say it was, well, there's a lot of them. You want them all, right, Smitty? You've been part of roster construction as the director of scouting of CFL teams. If you've got 27 players going to free agency,
there's obviously
from a good team, wouldn't you ideally want them all?
Well, you would. Maybe. You might not want some guys back, but it depends on how they are in the room, but there's definitely a hierarchy, and you'll go after the first ones, and then keep them going down the road. I remember when we were in BC. There was a hierarchy, and then there was a fellow that we didn't sign. Then at the end of everything, there was a little more money left for this one guy. I don't want to name names, but guess what? He went and signed in Toronto. And he said, well, how come, you didn't offer me that before? He said, well, it's just the process, and that's what happens, right? And especially with the way the cap is, you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. You really got to be careful about how much money you spend and who you spend it on. And,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's tough because you're trying to lock down. I think of the Riders situation, and I don't know exactly how this went down, but if they were as into Bo Levi Mitchell as maybe some people think, and offering $700,000 or $800,000 or whatever the number was. Mm-hmm. You're not offering that to Willie Jefferson. Mm-mm. And so you're waiting because you're like, I can't afford both these guys. We're going to go after the quarterback.
Right.
And then by the time the quarterback falls through, it's like, okay, Willie, I got some money for, wait,
Absolutely.
You already signed?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right? And it's not that we didn't want you, but it's that we made a choice. You got to make choices.
Well, and the other thing here, so I found the list. This is the 3downnation.com list. I have it written in my notes as Tuesday, November 19th, not that long ago. Charleston Hughes is on this list of pending Rider free agents, along with Micah Johnson, A.C. Leonard, Chad Jeter, LeVar Edwards, Mac Henry, who's signed, Jordan Reeves. So there's that. Receivers, Emmanuel Arsenault, Shaq Evans, Naaman Roosevelt, Corey Watson. They all filled very key roles.
Absolutely.
Running back, Marcus Thigpen, Keenan LaFrance, Albert Awachi.
So Powell signed for 2?
Well,
last
he's not eligible. Yeah, it was a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
At least 2.
Yeah.
On the O-line, All-Star Dan Clark, Philip Blake, Dariusz Bladek, Tacoby Cofield, Thad Coleman. At linebacker, Solomon Elamimian, Cameron Judge, Derek Moncrief, Alex Gagne, Dyshawn Davis, Brandon Bartlett. In the secondary, Eli Bauka, Ed Gainey, Nick Marshall, Purefoy, who they've signed, Denzel Radford, and specialists Jorgen Hughes and John Ryan. And the one thing maybe people should know, Smitty, because you've been in those meetings, because I saw you in there, is they all want to raise.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like, even me.
Right. Everybody wants a raise.
We all want to raise. And there's only so much pie. And it's a difficult thing. It's tough. It's tough to be a GM because you have certain slots. Okay, for this I want to pay this. For this I want to pay that, and you try to slot it in there. But that list that you just read, there's just a ton of good players there, and they need to hack away and get some of those guys signed.
Well, and everybody's so close to the cap that for every raise you give, you have to have somebody come in that much cheaper, right? So you have to have that turnover.
And then everybody's in the same situation. Everybody's got 20 to 30 free agents. Now, are you once you get all your guys signed, and then there's certain guys that aren't going to sign, they're going to wait to free agency. Well, as soon as free agency pops up, now there's guys that you want to go after to get your team better, and that can happen. Like a team like Ottawa. Ottawa's going to want to, and I always say that even if you're a bad team, things can change, and you could be a good team real quick, and that can happen. Big thing in Saskatchewan, they have a quarterback. That is so critical, and that's where to start. Now, how do you protect your quarterback? Well, what do you got to do? You got to make sure that offensive line is back and signed, and then keep on going after that. I keep on saying it's one at the trenches. It starts there, so you got to get those solidified.
Well, I'm not worried about the Rough Riders. And Don Hewitt sat in that chair yesterday from CTV and said the good days are here again. Rider pride is returned, and I'm with him. They got the coach, they got the quarterback, they got the GM, and everything else filters off that. They're in good shape.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.